Have you ever tried giving someone who's clearly not your type a chance? Don't be surprised if it actually works out. I've never been a fan of Fantastic Four since childhood, since Cartoon Network days. And remember the Jessica Alba, Chris Evans movies? Those gave me all the more reason to dismiss it as some second-rate superhero team. So, does Fantastic Four First Step succeed in taking the franchise out of reboot hell? Or is this just another chapter in Marvel's longest-running tragedy? My ring came out. I'll cut to the chase. The latest Fantastic Four movie is probably one of the best Marvel movies I have watched, which has been made recently. Imagine a team of scientists, except Johnny, with altered DNA, fighting intergalactic forces of evil, and sometimes local forces of evil. But that's also the core of every Fantastic Four movie. But this time the story is more true to the comics, and it does not force fit slapstick humor. The characters show more layers of personality, more than just being the stretchy guy, the see-through girl, the skirt-chasing human Diwali Pataka, a humanoid orange concrete blob who are constantly bickering among themselves. See, I really have nothing personal against them. That just came out a little aggressive. Back to the movie. The story holds your attention throughout, and the retro-futuristic visuals gives even the scenes where the four are handling fancy tech equipment a warm, even cheesy optimism instead of making it look super sanitized and lifeless. Very typical 60s. Normally, I love scrolling these online pages that have very specific aesthetic interiors, so I really loved the production quality of this movie. Coming to what makes this swing at Fantastic Four different from its previous versions, because obviously they're not making the same thing. Fantastic Four First Steps focuses on the two main things which makes Fantastic Four Fantastic Four. The fact that they are a family and also at the same time the protectors of their planet. Naturally, you would think one has to be more important than the other. And this is what the movie picks on and poses the question that in case of a crisis, what would they choose, their family or the world? Very, very interesting. Let's talk about the casting and the characters, which was partly bang on. Finally, Sue shows signs of a believable superhero capable of heavy-duty villain bashing. What was Jessica Alba up to? Remember that totally unnecessary for comedy scene where she ends up naked in the middle of the street? How unbecoming of a superhero! And her nose would bleed every time she exerted herself. Strength तो मतलब था ही नहीं. How would she beat up some bad guy, yaar? This Sue, oh my god, this Sue is so strong. She gives birth in space. She's yelling commands to kill Silver Surfer, and she also makes the most impactful defense move to nab Galactus. She is more of a leader than Reed. She's calling the shots. She is doing the negotiations with Mr. Mole or Captain Mole, sorry, I forgot the name. She is appeasing the public when they are being all selfish and literally asking for a human sacrifice. Mr. Mole. Vanessa Kirby did a fantastic job as Sue. But one second, Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic? I don't know. See, he is a fabulous actor, but he just does not have the superhero look. It could be because I have this image of him stuck in my head. And also because maybe Vanessa Kirby is totally overshadowing his character. Also, why is he going around touching everyone these days? My cousin just called him the most pervy Mr. Fantastic and it was so funny. Okay, but Reed has been written exactly how he is presented in the comics. He is obsessed with science and he's a pessimist, I guess. Always expecting the worst and thankfully preparing against the worst. Ben somehow has a beard which apparently he used to trim with what grade of steel blades, God knows. He is also very sehma hua, very emotional softy as compared to his previous depictions. Cute. It makes sense given that this movie expects you to understand that these four have been in their superhero roles for quite some time and it is possible that Ben has matured. Johnny. Man, this Johnny was really not as impactful as Chris Evans' Johnny, who I agree had very, very annoying mannerisms, but was far more convincing as someone who was expected to be cocky, impulsive, and hot-headed. And come on, he was Chris Evans. Joseph Quinn's Johnny, as compared to Chris Evans, and the comic book version of Johnny, definitely has amped up intelligence. but completely lacks spunk. He also kind of seems not very comfortable in the family setting. In fact, that sense of informal bonding which generally people have in their family was missing from all of them except Reed and Sue, who were always together in every frame. Come to think of it, given that everybody was so matured and emotionally dialed in, every person seemed like the other person to an extent. There was no standout in the pack. A little bit of comical exaggeration might have solved the problem. Fantastic Four First Step gets it all right, except maybe the last part, because why would Galactus almost fall for a mousetrap? Stupid hai kya? Why did he come himself for the trade-off instead of just sending the Silver Surfer? This is too desperate. Having said all of that, I am so glad the movie did not disappoint me after waiting for so many months. Though not with bated breath, because I had no idea it would be this good. I mean, come on, Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic? I can't. He's just not angular enough, you know? The movie looks good, sounds good, and the casting is almost perfect. You also get to see Herbie, who speaks in autotune, which is a first for comic book fans. Go watch it on IMAX because the experience is not going to be the same on your TV in a couple of months. Or now if you're using one of those websites. Okay, bye. I'm Jessica. I watch movies and I talk about movies on my channel. Please subscribe. I will be back with more. Like and share the video. Thank you.